Okay, so I'm just gonna talk about comic books and books in general. This is the 4th time I filmed this, and I tend to start rambling about what my favorite comics and books are, but I'm just gonna talk about them in general. In the description, I'm gonna put a list of comic books and books that I think everybody on the planet Earth should read. Okay, I really enjoy reading, and most of the time when I read, I don't read for the story, I read for the writing. For a long time I thought that a lot of people did that, but then I discovered that they didn't, because most of the time I tend to read a book and forget what it's about because I'm so engrossed in the writing. I have to reread books multiple times to understand what they're about, because I'll just read it and be like, oh my god, that sentence was written so beautifully, and freak out over the writing and completely forget what the story is about. But there are some books that I do read for the story and not for the writing. Most of the authors where I read multiples of their books, it's because I love their writing, and not their stories perhaps, but the writing is amazing. Whenever I recommend books to people, one of my most common things is the story is okay, but the writing is fabulous. I have a very strange relationship with books at the moment. I'm not reading as many as I used to. I used to read about 4 books a week, regardless of size, but that's trimming down to my last book took me 2 weeks to read because I was only reading it at school. I read just as much as I used to, it's just that I get home and I read fan fiction. Yeah, oh lord, what have I become? Yeah, but I read fan fiction and I go on Tumblr, and I don't know, I'm just not reading books. Okay, now comic books. I have a lot of really strange emotions about comic books, and I am very much a prude when it comes to comic books. I am very picky with the comic books that I read. What this amounts to is that I don't read very many comic books, and the comic books that I do read, I read over and over and over again, and I tend to read comic books by the same author, and yeah. The main problem is I'm not into superhero comics, which are like Superman and Batman and stuff like that. I've read my fair share of superhero comics, naturally. I've read a lot of Superman, I've read a lot of Batman, I've read a lot of Avengers, I've read shitloads of Daredevil. I used to be highly infatuated with Daredevil, to the point where I would go to the store just to buy Daredevil, which never happened with other superhero comics. I actually own Daredevil, which is the only superhero comic that I own, I think. As far as comics go, I have a really strong hate for Spider-Man. If you didn't know this, I don't know where you've been. If I had to choose between killing Voldemort and killing Spider-Man, I would obviously kill Spider-Man because I kind of love Voldemort. I would kill Spider-Man before I would kill anybody. I will be happy to tell you in length why I do not like Spider-Man, but I'm just going to leave it at that for now. That's pretty much it. So now that that's done, I'm gonna go because it is currently 9 o'clock at night and I need to finish reading Les Miserables because I'm reading it for class and we're supposed to read up to page 70 something and I'm on 30 something. So, Stevie, I will see you tomorrow.